Look, make a couple of comments here. Again, when we look at this budget, it does not touch benefits and Social Security. And we all recognize how important this program is, and it's important that we protect our seniors. If you look at where insolvency is, it keeps moving up. The date gets closer and closer. It's now within the 10-year window. If you look at what happens in 9 years, the shortfall will be approximately $616 billion in year one. This amendment, if you look at it, talking about removing the cap on $400,000, would add approximately $86 billion over the 10-year window. It is simply not enough to cover the major shortfall, and we're doing it in a way where we haven't analyzed what that would do to the overall economy in terms of productivity and job creation by continuing to raise taxes. We need to be a little bit more intellectually honest, and we need to do this in a bipartisan way. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle, and my dear friend from Connecticut, Mr. Larson, keeps talking about wanting to expand Social Security. I think our first priority should be to protect Social Security for the folks that have already earned and have paid into it. And also, I think we need to be honest about what this program is. When the ranking member talked about his dad paying into the system, just as my parents have as well, they made payments into the system to help support other retirees. And what we're running into is that we don't have enough workers right now paying into the system for the current number of retirees, and that math is only getting worse. And I'd like to add one other thing. If we simply do this by saying we're gonna raise taxes, we're missing the boat on something that's happening in our economy that's pretty dramatic, and that is the advent of artificial intelligence and the impact that it could have on the workforce. And every single one of the jobs that potentially could be eliminated by AI is another hit to the solvency of both Social Security and Medicare. So I simply think that just raising taxes will have a negative impact on the economy, and I think that we need, and it's going to create fewer workers. We've seen this time and time again. As taxes go up, productivity goes down. We see closures. We see way too many pressures on business, and our job creators can't continue to add people to their payrolls, which is actually, under the current funding formula, what we need to extend solvency more than anything else.
Congress needs to approve more relief. Economists have announced that inflation is falling, but millions of Americans are still paying an extra $680 every month because of high prices. Some lawmakers in Congress have already laid out how they would like more stimulus to be sent directly to low-income households. Dear friends, I'll be going over all of these plans, so please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Inflation may be cooling, but the average American is still shelling out a lot more money for everyday necessities. The typical American household needed to pay $205 more a month in October to purchase the same goods and services it did 1 year ago. That is because of very high inflation. Americans are paying on average $680 more each month compared with the same time 2 years ago. The analysis suggests that while inflation has fallen from the highs of mid-2022, Many U.S. families have yet to see actual financial relief. The Labor Department reported this week that the Consumer Price Index, which is a broad measure of the price of everyday goods, including gasoline, groceries, and rents, was unchanged in October from the previous month. Inflation has created severe financial pressures for most U.S. households, which are forced to pay more for everyday necessities. The burden is disproportionately borne by low-income Americans, whose already stretched paychecks are heavily impacted by price fluctuations. The Consumer Price Index is still running well above the typical pre-crisis rate, and the cost of necessities like groceries, gasoline, rent, and childcare remain far more expensive than they were just 1 year ago. Americans saw some reprieve in October as the cost of gasoline plunged and the price of used cars and trucks ticked a little lower, but many other price gains proved more persistent as Americans spend more on everyday goods. Families are burning through their savings and are increasingly turning to credit cards to cover those basic expenses. According to recent New York Federal Reserve data, credit card debt surged to a new record high at the end of September. In the 3-month period from July to September, total credit card debt rose to $1.08 trillion. That is an increase of $48 billion from the previous quarter. It marks the highest level on record in Fed data dating back to 2003 and the 8th consecutive annual increase. Shelter costs, which are the largest contributor to core inflation last month, rose 0.3% on a monthly basis. Rising rents are concerning because higher housing costs most directly and acutely affect household budgets. Currently, about 250 U.S. lawmakers are trying to add the $300 a month child tax credit payments back in American wallets, this time with a $2,000 baby bonus. It is a Democratic proposal with enough Republican support to seem like more than a wish list and would make permanent the expanded child tax credit, which was signed into law under the American Rescue Plan. The legislation, one of President Biden's signature programs in office, boosted the 2021 tax credit, with the most significant increases going to lower-income families with children. The new proposal would remove an earnings requirement from the full credit, expand the maximum child tax credit to $250 per month, and provide a baby bonus, which is an extra $2,000 in the month that a new baby is born. Rosa DeLauro introduced the legislation, stating that the expanded monthly payments have already helped parents pay bills, keep healthy and nutritious food on the table, afford school supplies, or manage a mortgage or rent payment. Representative Richie Torres, a third lead co-sponsor, said that in 2021, the child tax credit reached more than 61 million children and lifted nearly 4 million of them out of poverty. He also said, no government program has impacted so many Americans in such a short amount of time. A companion bill in the Senate, led by Senator Sherrod Brown, has 40 co-sponsors. It is a challenge to get anything through a divided government, with Republicans narrowly holding the House and Democrats narrowly holding the Senate. It is important to remember that passing another tax policy would not be simple or easy. Well, my awesome and my most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, dear friends, for being part of this community. To say thank you, every Friday I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.